Ayy, Brewski, I'm in my zone like a 2-3. Would sue me, urban gorilla, no Gucci. Yeah, the scriptures I be kicking like Bruce Lee. Check my precepts raw than sushi. Summertime, so I stay in the cool B. On the corner throwing bumps like I'm Drew Brees. Yeah, tap out for your how we bringing them gas out. Cut a heathen cause he running his fat mouth. Off the dribble, I be balling like.
How you doing? What's your name? Jennifer? What's your ethnicity, Jennifer? What's your ethnicity? You're Swiss? Are you a tourist? You came from Switzerland? How long are you going to be out here for? A few days. You believe in the Bible? Sometimes? So just regular book to you, don't believe in God or anything like that? I mean, what's the definition of sometimes? What's that? Jordan, Middle East, right? Yeah. Jesus was baptized? Yeah, I mean, that's not what I asked you, but I mean, that's fine.
Do you feel what religion?
We're not a religion. We're the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible.
Right, right.
You believe in Jesus? You believe he existed? Because you mentioned Jesus just now. So,
Are you Muslim?
why would we be Muslims? We're the Israelites. We are the people of the Bible. We're not Muslims. I know what you are, though. You're a Rolling Stone, the devil, the vagabond.
Right, right.
Yeah, you are, huh? You're the devil. You know, she said she's French. She's a French woman. Are you familiar with the history of France? You familiar with the history of France? You're from the French part, right? You speak French? Are you familiar with what the French did with Haiti? A little bit? Can you give me like a one fact what happened in Haiti? What happened in Haiti? No, what the French though? What the French do in Haiti? Yeah, the dictator. What's his name? I'm asking you. That's your man. What's that? You're against dictatorships. Okay, well, that's not a problem. Anyways, we know what happened in Haiti, right? Was that a bad thing? It's a shambles because of the French. What was that dude's name anyway? I forgot his name. Napoleon, that's his name. The short guy. With the short man complex. So that's where it comes from. Napoleon. Who are you talking about? The Haitian president? John Dessalines? Or what's his name? Jean-Jacques Dessalines. 1804, right? Is that what you're talking about? It was a Haitian man, right? There was a few people. The big black guy? The bad? Oh, you talking about your ancestors? Another European man or actual black man? He's from Haiti, right? I mean, how is he bad? Because he basically killed all those white people that were oppressing him. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Right.
How do you feel if somebody was oppressing your family and then one of your sons rose up and killed them? Is that a good thing? Well, no. Somebody's in your home oppressing you, tying you up, making you work for free, and then your son breaks free and kills the person that's dictating over you. Is that a good thing? So you'd rather be in slavery forever? That's the devil right here. That's the devil right here. That's the devil right here. Exactly, that's the future of your people. But guess what? That is madness. So instead of really breaking free from slavery, you'd rather be enslaved to somebody for the rest of your life, you and your family. Is that what you're telling me? So if you're in slavery forever, how are you going to get out of slavery? Besides violence. Peace? How? The dictator's not going to change his mind. The dictator's not going to change his mind. Who? Gandhi? Gandhi's a sellout. First of all, he's not our people. What did Gandhi do?
Right.
Gandhi didn't like black people anyway. He was a racist.
Right.
So that's why he got along with the British. How? How did he get rid of the British? How? Just talking to him, bowing to him, meditating? No, it's madness. The British already conquered that land. What did they need him for? After they conquered them, right? The British conquered India, correct? When did they? So they conquered them, right? So did Gandhi make them leave before or after they conquered? Exactly. So he didn't help anything, right? Because America still has ties. Great. They left after they conquered them. He didn't do anything to stop anybody. He made them leave out. Hey, can you get off my lawn? Like what's Buddy on Friday? Stanley. Get off my freaking grass. He just told him to get off his grass. It's madness, man. He just commits, hey, you can just get off my land now. I'm tired of you killing my people. Is that what you're going to tell to the dictators in your house? This is crazy, man.
And also, if you want to bring up Gandhi, people don't realize that he was a supporter of the India caste system. People want to shine a light on him. Absolutely, he was. The people in India today still call him a casteist. He agreed with the caste system.
That's probably why they left.
Check this out. Look, people want to give him this one look that he changed the whole system, but he was for the caste system. He agreed with the caste system. That certain caste system, that even the lowest of the lowest were born the lowest of the lowest. This is his beliefs. He's racist too.
And that's what I just told you. That's the only reason why they left. Gandhi was a sellout. That's why I just told you. That's the first thing I tell you. You mention his name. He's a sellout. He sold out his own people. So you said he made him leave. No, he agreed with the terms and conditions. Allowed his people to be subject to a caste system, like how America has a caste system. It's low class, middle class, upper class. And it's going to be that system forever because the people in power, that's how they make their money. People are spinning the wheels thinking they're doing something when all they're doing is just contributing to slavery. To be in debt forever. That's what's happening. So again, if somebody came to your home, enslaved your people, with you in the house, by the way, how are you going to get out of that? Peace? What peace can come from there if that person's never going to change and give up their power? Oh, that's Elon right there. Jennifer, what's your answer to that? If somebody ransacked your home, took your kids in slavery, you and your husband tied them up forever, hey, can you just be peaceful with me? No. I'm asking about you. What's that have to do with me?
My generation told to get
The Vietnam War? But they was already killing people over there, so how'd that help? They were already there killing people. The music? The music did what? What are you talking about? No. So singing songs got them out of Vietnam? Ma'am, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's true. You're still a devil too.
Right.
And you're going into change. Thus saith the Most High.
Right.
That is madness. Oh, really? Is that a girl? Oh. Excuse me. Man. I think that's a man. Yeah. What's your pronoun? Yeah, I definitely want to know. What's that? They, them? What's on your birth certificate? No, I'm just asking that particular fact.
You actually want to know, you wouldn't have asked that question.
I mean, it's the same thing. Because there's a starting point and an end point.
There you go. I love to like bait people and then, gotcha.
Not at all. Not at all. It's a similar question because you didn't start saying they, them. That's what I'm talking
I
about.
actually came here because I think you guys have a lot of valid points and I'm enjoying listening to it. And I think you have a lot of like really great things.
Really great points?
So like,
Okay.
I'm kind of disappointed. I'm like, understand. Like I was.
I mean, that's a personal problem. I don't care how you feel, but
Okay.
you know,
I
that's
really
whatever.
appreciate your perspective, and I really appreciate like the way that you're speaking. Right? Like
So you agree with what we're talking about, right?
it's nice outside. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
So referencing what so you heard what I was saying to that lady, right?
Yeah.
What's your name?
So.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe. Same question. If somebody came to your home, put you and your family in chains, made you work for free, how would you get out of that situation? Kill them. Great. Give me that number 35. So let's transfer that same ideology to America.
I agree with everything you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your ethnicity though?
White.
You're white. Okay, so you'd be a part of the problem.
Yeah, I am.
So have you thought about like leaving the country or going back to the Caucasus Mountains? Volunteer do what?
I work for an organization that goes into homeless and we offer them the chance to, like when you get evicted from your house, for instance, you have the chance to like legally defend yourself against your landlord, but homeless people don't have that chance to defend themselves against the people in their shelter evicting them. And there's a lot of corruption that happens in shelters. So like, I just do my thing. I work in people's heart, and I've been homeless.
But do you think
I'm like good defense. I go into shelters.
hold on.
I go into shelters. They're being evicted for like unfair reasons, like for racist reasons, for homophobic reasons, for fucking reasons based on their disability. Like our organization will step in and like we can actually legally defend them.
So you can be racist.
What?
So you're allowed to be racist. You can't be racist then, right? No. You said you defend somebody that was racist. They got kicked out for being racist.
No.
That's what you just told me.
No.
So what?
We're defending people who got kicked out of shelters.
Oh, for racist reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said something different. I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, wait a minute.
Sorry, it's just
We
loud.
actually condone
I came
racism,
up 'cause it was
not in
loud.
that fashion though. But there's like I said, there's a whole systematic reason why there's homeless here. Like my brother just said, there's caste systems. They allow people to, they set up systems to where people are on a lower tier for a purpose. I mean, obviously people can break through and work hard, things like that. But for the most part, there's a certain level you can get to at a certain time, especially for our people. The white man, of course, they can bubble up, go to different programs like you referenced, but you kind of skipped over something. You kind of went to what you do for the community, but it doesn't even matter. You just agree that you're the problem here, so it doesn't matter what you do with the homeless people.
And you asked, that's all.
I did ask.
It wasn't to prove something, you just literally asked.
I mean, that's true. You were trying to prove yourself, but it's not a problem. Read that.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood, it defileth the land.
Has blood defiled the land of America? Ever since the European came here, blood has been spilled, innocent blood, for hundreds of years. Right. And still being spilled to this day. Read.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein,
Or what?
but by the blood of him that shed it.
Do you agree with that? Yeah. Okay. So that means you and your ancestors, every European that's walking on this side of the globe, in every part of the globe actually. So everywhere the white man's went, they've conquered and killed and raped and murdered people. So they all need to be exterminated. Right or wrong?
At the very least, you need to give severe reparations. Yeah.
That's what the lady said. What type of reparations though? When is the justice coming? What type of reparations are you referring to? I thought you were listening to her, and I think you just went back to your devilish thoughts, and it skipped over what we talked about.
To be honest, my opinion on this doesn't really matter because I don't really have a say in something like this.
But I'm asking you.
But I will, if you're asking me, but my opinion doesn't matter.
I just want to know your opinion because
starting with the fact that it's not an authority.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that I don't have the answers. I think all we can do is community members, recognize like our history and the place that we're at, and like show up for our neighbors and community members, and not take positions in certain jobs that like could be given to someone else who, like, for instance, recognizing like the intelligence of people who live with like multiple oppressions, and that like their minds and their experiences are the most valuable, and like changing our mindsets and realizing like they do have superiority over us in so many ways, and like not superiority in like the toxic way, superiority in a very like realistic and like holy way. Like when you've gone through some fucked up shit, you just know more than other people do. And like
I agree with that.
I want to like get to the point where we like recognize that intelligence and prioritize it and uplift that. And like I don't have all the answers on how to make that happen, but I want to see it. You know.
Okay.
And there's no way to fucking make up for something of that kind of atrocity. So I don't know what the answer to that is. But yeah.
Well, you answered it earlier. You answered it earlier. You say that you skipped over it. I'm not saying you're not sincere, but you didn't think about what you said earlier. So I asked you if you're part of the problem. You said yes. And I said, have you thought about leaving the country? And what'd you tell me?
I don't know.
You went into a spill about what you do for the homeless people, which is irrelevant.
I've been homeless before for a long time, and I finally got housing.
See what I mean? Just talking
What
out of ass. It's crazy.
What I'm
It's
trying
crazy.
to say is I'm tired, and I finally got to.
We're tired.
I know.
We're tired.
I know. I finally got to a place
Tired of looking at devils, man. It's crazy.
I'm not thinking about leaving a country when I'm finally housed, and I can relax for a second. So,
On stolen land.
yeah, I know that, and I can recognize that.
Read that again.
The book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defiles the land,
Read blood defiles America. What needs to happen?
and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein,
Read on.
but by the blood of him that shed it.
That's how God feels. You have Jesus on your backpack, or who you claim is Jesus. The white man, who is a false Jesus. Let's just say
That's
Jesus
why
in
I'm
general.
making fun of him. He's a fake Jesus. That's a fake
Great. We know Jesus is a melanated man. But either way,
Yeah.
this is the book of Jesus. You know? Christ said he comes in a volume of the book. So Christ would be referencing this same information.
Yeah.
So it means you and your ancestors had to be exterminated, right or wrong. You agree, right? You and your ancestors had to be exterminated, right? Have to be. Need to be. Must need be. Swiftly.
There's so many people that like.
Do you agree? Right? Yes or no?
Well, the thing is, I'm an abolitionist, so unfortunately, like,
Abolitionists.
I 100% agree, like, everything you're saying.
Except for being put to death. Right?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like,
Talking about the point, it's crazy. It's crazy. You can't give a straight
I think
answer.
you're really smart, and like, I'm really enjoying what you're saying. I just don't like being condescended and like.
Oh, I'm going to condescend you, Devin.
I think you're really cool, and I came here because I think what you're saying is.
I don't care. That's relevant to me.
Okay, well.
If you can't be straightforward and honest,
I want to.
after you say you like what we're saying, you agree with me 100%, but then I talk about your judgment. Oh well, I'm an abolitionist, and I oppose people. Like that's madness.
You want me? I'll say it. Like.
You deserve that. Hey.
Yeah.
These are Native American brothers and sisters who you first infiltrated and murdered and lied to. These are the people you need to apologize to first and foremost.
Right.
And then the Latino brothers and sisters. And then the so-called Negro men. This is brother and sister right here.
I will say that everyone has every fucking reason to feel that way toward any white person, and that they have every reason to have any sort of reaction or emotion toward any white person, and like that is never like something that like any white person should have a say about. Of like you're allowed to feel this way
But
or not.
should we have a say about how things get resolved and justice is served?
I mean, obviously no one wants to get put to death, so what do you want me to say? Like I have the feelings that I have, and I want to make reparations happen, but I feel like you're asking me like questions because you want me to have an emotional reaction.
I don't care. Yeah,
What do you want me to
I just
say?
care about what you're referencing. Because if you,
Like I want to die. Like what's the answer? That
I mean, that's reparations to God.
okay, well, if that's what you want to hear, like that's.
No, that's not what I want to hear. That's what I want to see.
Right. Okay.
Not just you.
No, I
Not just you.
Alright, I understand. I honestly
You just here talking to me. You're representative of your people right now. So I'm talking to you as representative of the European race.
I get that. No, I like when
And you agree with everything except for that, which is the issue.
The thing is, I do get that. Like, the more I research onto like the atrocities that America has done to indigenous people, people of color, the more I'm like, oh my god, I wish they could fucking blow up and die. And like,
That's right.
So you do.
like, all of the systems that have made it, like all of the systems that have made this possible to fucking die. I get it, and like that's why I'm like super supportive of everything that you're fucking saying. But it's tough when you're coming to me like, so you should kill yourself. And I'm just
I didn't
like,
say everybody
I'm
never
like,
kill
I
yourself.
agree with you, but also like,
I believe that America will be destroyed by thermonuclear fire.
I hope that
Right.
me too.
Great.
I hope that anyone who can't get on board with this shit is destroyed too. But like,
That's
I'll
right.
say it.
That's
I'll
right.
say it, devil.
like, I'm all about fucking
That's
land
right.
Them they, you said them they, right?
I think you have a lot
I'm
of
gonna start calling you them they. You read that? Great. Look at Matthew chapter 12, verse 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, that's what's happening. Satan's going to cast out Satan. The white Europeans that are in Eastern Europe, Russia, is going to cast out the Satan Europeans of Western Europe. That's how it's going to happen. That's how God ordained it. That's why you guys are conflicted. You're the same people in the ancient world. You're all Europeans. You're all white. You're all biblical Israelites. And you're warring against each other just how God commanded it to be. Read that?
That's right.
And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself.
You're dividing yourself. Republican and Democrat, some libertarianism, all that type of stuff. What's the other party? Independent isn't necessarily hold any type of weight in the political world, but anyways, that's how it works. Satan's going to cast out Satan. That's why that event that happened at the Capitol, what was that, 2 years ago, over a year ago, when they rushed the Capitol over Trump. You know, that was ordained by God, man. And then what happened? All the white people got thrown in jail. That lady got shot in a government building. And then now it's like, okay, well, now we want to go after Trump again. Trump's house got raided by the FBI. He has some nuclear files and things like that in his house. Like, what? Like, all they're doing is trying to stain him for when he tries to go for re-election in a couple of years. That's what's happening. But we don't care. We applaud that type of stuff.
Right.
All of that is just stirring the pot and for turmoil for Satan to cast out Satan. Eventually, when America gets, first America, like I said, is going through race wars. Are you going to choose your own people over if you have black friends or not? Joe? If a race war kicks off, do you have any black friends or Mexican friends? So let's just say a group of white people come up to you, hey, you got to side with us over your black and Mexican friends, or we're going to kill you. What are you going to do? Why not? So you rather die then? No, that's what's going to happen then. Okay, so you die for that, but not for justice of our people.
That's a very extreme.
That's crazy. You see what is happening? That's crazy. I asked you, like I said, we've been talking about justice and reparations and karma, things like that.
Right.
I asked you if white people deserve to die and be exterminated. You said, well, that's hard to say. Then I asked you if white people came up to you and told you to pick them over Mexicans and blacks. You said, no, I die for them. So that's a contradiction.
Okay.
That's a contradiction, right?
If I was forced between a black and white situation, I think that's a very different question. You're asking me, like,
it's the same
are
thing.
you pro-extermination or would you choose in a life or death situation with you? And like, those are two very different questions. So for you to like frame it like, oh, you're so stupid for thinking that's a different thing. Like,
I mean, you are stupid, but you know, I'm just.
That's hard. Bro,
So it's not the same thing.
Because everything you're saying is so smart and so rational, and then you talk to me like the most condescending person.
Why not?
Because I mean, like,
Why not?
it's just like
You don't deserve my respect, devil.
No, I know, but like you're not even approaching me with it's like you're trying to back me into a corner to say something.
No, I just want to know how you think. That's all.
It's kind of like manipulative.
You can call it that. You just not smart enough to see
Talk to
through
me
it.
any type of way you want, but manipulation, I don't fuck with.
Am I manipulating them?
You're
Or am I
like
asking the
pushing me into
questions,
a corner
making me
and
look like a damn liar? It's crazy.
I'm gonna be
It's crazy.
period.
So instead of dying for the rape, robbery, murder of our people from the past, in the future, if white people came to you and say, hey, pick us over those enslaved people, you still die. So what's the difference?
Well, then if there's no difference according to you, then I guess there's no difference.
Well, that's why I said it. That's why you contradict yourself. So that's all I'm saying. This will make you a devil. It's crazy, man. You got something? What you got? You get what I want? Read that Matthew again, 12:26. What? You got something? Oh man, this is insane. Yeah, read that part again. Read that. Start at verse 25.
And Yehoshua, Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
And that's what's happening to America right now. In the midst of all this inflation, like I said, they're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. They're funding coups all over the world. All this tax money is going to our military, things like that. For what? They're building some type of so-called space force for God knows what. I mean, I know what it is. They're quote unquote trying to go against the angels of the Lord in the future. It's not going to help. But read that again.
And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
They're going to crumble internally, just like ancient Rome did. This is the modern day Rome. That's why you see modern Roman structures in D.C. and things like that. The monuments and all that type of stuff, Egyptian obelisks, all that madness. America stole from all those ancient societies to build up America, and that's where you get some of the law, not constitution, but some of the laws from. All the logistics or legal documentation is written in Latin. Why? Why is everything written in Latin? So they're the same people back in ancient Rome, same white people that had the Jews in slavery, same people that conquered America, same people. They got the same structures. That's it. Now it's a land of the free, home of the brave, which is a lie. They built up this place just for our people to be at the lowest level, period. And I always bring this up about the book called White Trash, about how the white man orchestrated, like I said, classes as a better reference, to make it seem like there's white people on a lower level just along with the black and Hispanic people and the Native Indian people. That's just a ploy to make it seem like we're all equal. We're not all equal. Just like you said. The oppressed people and the people that have gone through hell are more likely, more intellectual, more smart, and things like that. Not saying just as far as knowledge or whatnot, but just in the concept of surviving atrocities, things like that. And that gives you more a viewpoint on morality, how things should be run, things like that. Because we see it every day. There's a story I read yesterday. I think about the story out how a black family owned the house. They wanted to get it appraised. So they had the pictures in there, black photos. They went in there, appraised it for around $450,000. They're like, wait a minute, this house was way more than that. We did about $40,000 in renovations. So let's just do this. We're going to take the black photos out of the house, have our white friend pose as the owner of the house, and see what they say then. You know how much they appraised the house for after that? About $700,000, $800,000. All because of skin tone. That's crazy. That's how it works. That's what happened with Red Line. That's what happened with when the soldiers came back from the Vietnam War. They wouldn't allow themselves to buy houses in white neighborhoods. Why? They just fought for the country. I thought they were heroes. But when they come back to America, oh, this is your niggas. Period. That's how it works. That's how sleazy and wicked America is. It's crazy, man. What you got?
That's like literally after Vietnam, like you said, they promised them to go back into these houses just for them to go right to the crack epidemic.
Yeah, exactly. Right after that crack epidemic, they put guns and drugs in our neighborhood and influenced us with rap music in the early 90s. And there's literally rappers that corroborate the story about how all the executives and obviously the people that run the prisons, the prison industrial complex, came together and created gangster rap. When NWA first came out, that was an orchestration of the CIA and FBI, period.
Right.
We know that for a fact.
That's
Rappers
right.
literally said that in interviews. Before the 1990s, there was no gangster music. Or in the mid-80s to early 90s, there was no gangster rap. It was all more intellectual rap, like with Run DMC and KRS-One and Rakim, things like that. And then right when crack and cocaine started hitting our neighborhoods, now it's shoot 'em up, bang bang. Like that's not what we were doing to ourselves. We weren't killing each other back in the 60s and 70s. There were sellouts back then as well, but we weren't doing it at a rapid rate all across the cities of America. But anyways, they are. You want to take? Oh, great. Oh, great. So, Joe, I got a question for you. So you said you identify as they and them, right? Yeah. So, you know, in English, when we refer to they and them, that's more than one person. And so, how many people are you?
That's right.
Do you think this is like a profound thing that no one's ever asked you before?
Well, this is my first time having the opportunity to ask this
You
question.
know that like in so many different countries and languages, words change over time constantly, or do you just think that every generation is the only example ever of language?
No, I'm talking about the English language in America right
Do
now.
you believe that all women should be stay-at-home moms that should never have a job? Do you believe the answer to that was yes or no?
No.
Okay, so back in
What does
the
that have
day-
to do with my question?
It does.
Okay.
Back in the day, if you had said that to someone, they'd be like, "You're an idiot." Things change. I'm telling you right now, you being like, "You're an idiot for thinking women should," I'm like, no, I'm telling you things have changed.
Hold on.
Just because things have been some way doesn't mean they must always.
Hold on.
Like the
Hold
fuck.
on.
I came here to listen because I think y'all have some interesting things to say.
Let me ask you a
and
question.
you're like
Let me ask
berating me for no fucking reason.
Can I ask you a question about that statement?
Like, I literally think you guys are telling me like really valuable history and experiences, and I'm like, I'm literally just here.
I mean, you avoided this question though,
Oh,
but
this
whatever.
stupid trans person. I'm like, the fuck? Like,
I mean, you're an Edomite, so it's irrelevant what you
I mean,
identify
that's
as. You're an
fine,
Edomite.
but
You're
don't fucking
irrelevant.
target my transness. Like, I think what y'all have to say is valuable, but if you're gonna fucking point me out and call me by name and be like, you're stupid for like, you're
I mean, nobody said that. I mean, nobody said that.
Thank you for what you shared. I have
Can I ask you a question real quick about what you just referenced? You said people would be deemed as stupid if women were basically taken out of the home and being part of the workforce. You said back in the day, you said he'd be.
If someone were to challenge that idea, they'd be like, you're crazy, you're progressive.
Great.
And what I'm trying to say is him being like, oh, it's always been that way, so that is the truth.
I mean, nobody said that though.
No, he pretty much did. And me being like,
No, that's
hey,
not what he said.
Listen.
He asked you a question, you didn't answer the
Me
question.
being like, hey,
You tried to skate around it again like you've been doing all day.
Me
It's
being
crazy.
like, hey, I recognize something is new, and it's not like mainstream yet, but like, it is my experience. And
I mean,
you're
that's
like,
fine.
well, it has been that way, and that's what
Listen.
I'm like, that's not a good argument.
He's asking you a question because we've never had a talk with somebody like that.
Well, then ask it in a way that's not condescending and shitty.
I
You
mean,
can ask questions without sounding like that.
So that was what he did was condescending to you.
You were like, oh, so are you more than one person? He knows I'm not more than one person. That is a passive-aggressive ass way to say that.
So what is they and them reference to?
Gaslighting as fuck. Being like, what? We don't know how that was condescending. Yes, you do.
So how's they and them correlate to you?
Pretty much like.
So that's all he was asking. How's that apply to you?
Head top surgery. No one fucking goes and get their tits like fucking chopped the fuck off and takes a needle in their leg once a week for 7 years. I'm 25. I've been doing this since I was like 18 years old. No one does that for fun. Like
I mean, that's your personal choice and journey.
I can sit here and give you some detailed example of like how I felt from a very young age leading up to this. But like that's a lot.
I mean, that's not what we're asking about though. That's not what we're asking
I
about.
can explain transit. I can actually summarize.
No, we're just talking about they and them. That terminology. How is that? Where does it come from? What does it mean to
I
you?
can summarize it.
Go ahead.
So a lot of people think that like trans people are like it's like this super specific thing and there's all these labels and it's super complicated when in reality like the reason that trans people might not exist if it weren't for the fact like if you think about it in countries like men wear dresses but in our country that's like
Europe, not everywhere else. That's Europe.
That's not true.
Like,
In Asia they do, but when it forget about it.
Those wear dresses in Asia.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Those are dresses. White people wear heels and dresses in Europe. That's a fact.
The fact that we take this seriously, I think, is ridiculous. Like, in so many different cultures,
Crazy.
there are cultures where men raise the babies. There are cultures where men are like the providers. It changes all over. And
That's fine.
I think trans need to reject like this like idea of what a man and a woman is, because like trans people would not exist if it weren't for the like if somebody says people are so confused by trans people, like, why do you exist? And I'm like, we exist because of these false ideas that are enforced onto us from white supremacy by the government. That like
Satan casting on Satan once again.
colonialism came in and we're like, no, these are the roles of a woman, these are the roles of a man, this is what you have to do to be appeasing to God in white Christianity, yada yada yada. And And then if you don't follow along those lines, you're a sinner. And so, like, back in the day, in a
So you
lot
gotta
of
agree with
in a lot of indigenous cultures, there were non-binary people. They had words for it. They had words for it.
I agree. I agree with that, but that's still confusion
saying
now.
I can't?
Nobody said you
The
can't.
main population of
We don't care about you.
people like we are
We don't care about you. I'm just trying to understand the terminology, that's all.
Anyway, I don't identify as a woman. Is that so insane to you?
So,
I'm just thinking out.
so that's what they and them means. You can identify as either one.
There's no bouncing around. I just don't relate. When someone's like, you're a man, I'm like, no. When someone's like, you're a woman, I'm like, no. I'm just kind of, I'm so.
So why didn't you just keep your parts and things like that?
People don't agree. That's so many sisters say that. They're like, what's the problem? And it's like, the reason why but it's actually very, like, absolutely oppressive. Oh, why are you trying to, like, kiss up to your oppressor? And it's like, sometimes you don't have a choice. When you're oppressor, it's like, if I have big boobs, right? Before this.
Okay.
So, when I go into my workplace with big boobs, people immediately, it doesn't matter what I say, woman, immediately, because they see that and that's how they see it. And then I'm like, look, I need to control this. I need to treat myself in a nice way, constantly. And it starts to hurt, it starts to pain. And then I finally get them removed. And then everyone's like, oh my god, why are you trying to prove something? And I'm like, I'm not trying to prove something. I was just tired of imposing their ideas of what I am based on a lump of fat on my fucking body. So when I finally get sick of these box straps that exist because of white supremacy, and I feel what femininity is, and I finally am like, I'm done. I will go with her. But guess what? If we live in a different world where these constructs didn't exist, maybe we exist because we are the rejection of the bullshit of what, like, the gender binary is.
So-
It's fucking bullshit. It's patriarchy, it's white supremacy, it's capitalism, it's a combination of all these
I believe it's just confusion.
I get it.
I got a question though. I mean, you were born. Okay, so you were born a female, right? You were born a female. I mean, let's go back to biology, right? Let's go right back to biology. What did your chromosomes read? Well, none of my business. None of my business, right? You were a female, right? You were born a female. Your gametes were inside your belly, right? Right?
I'm literally not going to answer this.
Yeah, that's mutilation. That's mutilation.
Doesn't it sound like other cultures also have to do that? They're told, oh, you need to, like, change things about your appearance to fit in with certain cultures.
That's not true. That's not true. If you want to talk about certain cultures, if you want to talk about certain cultures and their beauty standards, different beauty standards go through different cultures, right? Is that what you want to talk about?
This exists in so many cultures. The idea of
So mutilation and sex changes. When in antiquity did that start? When?
What? I can tell you.
When?
I can actually tell you.
Show me the historical source.
I can.
Give me one.
During the Holocaust, they had like a
Antiquity, not recent history. Not recent history. I want antiquity. I want antiquity.
The second I have a valid response, they're like, "Oh, we don't want to hear."
That's not antiquity. That's recent history. I want antiquity.
I can.
Give me
There
one.
are like documents of like in even prehistoric times of people like changing themselves. So there's this thing called the sexual dimorphism gap, which is basically back in the day, like people like are like the sex differences between female and male. There were intersections.
I got an idea.
There's a population, a very large population of people that don't fall under male or female even genetically, and they have like different kinds of parts or different internals, and like so back in the day, being intersex is actually a lot more common, and it's common in a lot of animal groups too. Like
You're talking about hermaphrodites. That's a whole different
I
thing.
know, and it's common.
That's a different thing. That's a different thing.
Listen, you don't want to finish. So basically, over time, like back in the day, like the way that we looked, like as ancient like people, like the genders between female and male were actually really similar, height-wise, strength-wise, whatever. And then they started realizing, okay, population is key to our survival. I'm like giving you a very specific definition, so give me a chance here.
Yep.
Population is very key to our survival and keeping like the village alive, right? So they started having people who were fertile stay at home, and people who were not go out. And what happens with evolution is like our bodies listen to the conditions that we're in over generations. And so female people started getting smaller and smaller and weaker, and like male people started getting stronger and started to adapt to these type of like conditions equipment. And then over time, we started coming up with like more like now we don't have these necessities for survival. Those are no longer things, and yet we're still.
You got a case study on that? I want
Yes,
a case study on that. Bring it
I
up.
literally did it as like my final.
Bring it up. I want it. I want it. Bring it
I
up.
hate when people do this type of shit because you're standing on the street and you're like, yeah, pull up a scholarly essay as if you're gonna sit there.
I don't like it. I would like it. How do you know? How do you know what I read and what I not read?
You're deflecting.
How do you know what I read and what I not read?
If you're not threatened, let me finish.
I'm not asking you friendly. You're speaking nonsense right now.
Yeah, so okay, cool. Then
We do research on everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know, I believe it. I think you guys are really smart.
So how
But
come we can't?
you clearly don't know anything about my experience and you're not willing to listen to it because you just immediately that's bullshit. You're making it up.
No,
And I'm
we
like,
didn't think anything enough.
well, you want to let me finish or you don't?
I want to hear it. I want to hear it, and I want sources. That's all I'm
I do.
asking.
You want me to send you a fucking link?
No,
Give me
just
your number.
no. I'm not giving you my number. I'd like you to read the case study. Read the case study because we want to read.
I have essays.
Bring it. I don't want. Whenever you, I want to hear it. Read the sources out.
Whatever you research,
I want it.
source information.
You're
That's
just
what I
saying
want.
that.
The name of scholar.
The funny thing is, I have like so many fucking things I could show you, but I know that's not
I mean,
what you actually
that's
want
not
to
something.
hear.
That's not something that you know. I want sources because you can read any. You can write. No, listen. You can write anything you want, but I want sources that you want to read. Give me one.
They did a study on kids that were raised in like gender neutral
Head
environments.
out.
Okay.
Thank y'all for being here.
Where they basically like let the kids have any kind of choice they want, do whatever they want, complete freedom. No, you know, when I was born, I was a baby dolls to teach me that I should be a childcare or a vacuum cleaner to teach me that I should be a housewife. And then men, like boys, would give them like the tools, show like these are your roles. Like very young age.
We're talking about now. You're talking about gender roles. I want
This is
biological.
I am.
I
I'm
want
getting
biology.
to it. I'm getting to it.
All right.
You just cut me off because you're scared
Because
of
you're talking
something.
gender roles. I know about that. You're teaching gender roles. I know about that. I want biology.
You don't
I
even
want
realize you're
sources.
so uneducated, you don't even realize that those two things are connected. It's just you're repeating.
How?
Anyway, so there have been studies that have been done on kids that are raised in environments where they, you know, loving environments, they're not raised in a fucking white room. But they had like kids in an environment where they were offered and like not told, you can't do this, you can't wear this shirt every single time. All of the children ended up very happy and comfortable, but had like a pretty random, like unique experience of what they're interested in. Like they like trucks and princess dresses, or they blah blah blah. And who the fuck is that person? That's my question. Y'all act like, oh, this is the scariest thing in the world. If a boy wears a dress, I'm like, is the world gonna fucking explode? Why do y'all act like that? It's insane.
I'm still waiting.
It's
You want? You still? Like just y'all witness. Y'all bear witness that I asked her scholarly sources and everything, and she never brought it out. She never brought it out. She never brought it out.
Before you pointed me out in this chat, I was sitting here peacefully, like engaged and interested in what you had to say, and I was really appreciative of all the research that you've done on like history and like the harm that's been caused to your community. You pointed me out in the crowd by name, by the way. Joe, you're like, this is your experience with gender. You don't know anything about that. And then when I explained, you literally asked me to explain myself. And then when I started to, you're like, why are you changing the subject? We weren't even talking about that. Y'all are
You haven't
manipulators.
brought it. You haven't brought anything.
I think you're very wise, but you're
You haven't
also
brought
asshole.
nothing that you
You're a
asked
wise
for.
asshole.
Biological
Okay?
studies and nothing, man. And if you want to
I
talk,
support everything
I got a
you
big
stand
rebuttal on.
for.
I got a big rebuttal on what you just brought out, right? About kids in a neutral household picking out whatever they want. Kids actually have favorite parents, man. Right? So if a son favors his mom and he sees his mom wearing high heels and dresses, and child goes in the steps in high heels one day, and the mom doesn't correct that, of course the son is going to keep doing that, man.
Right. That's right.
So that's ridiculous what she said, man.
That's right.
I asked for scholarly sources, she didn't bring none out, man. None out. The only one that I've ever read about was Rome, which was predominantly known that they practice homosexuality there, man.
Right.
And he wasn't trans or nothing, man. He didn't get to mutilate none of his body or nothing, man. That's it. I wanted scholarly sources. She didn't bring none out, man.